Hello, everyone, and welcome to Doing Business in Bentonville. I'm Andy Wilson. I'm your host today. I want to say to all of you, thank you so much for your viewership. We really appreciate it. And we're growing like crazy. We're in over 100 countries now with viewers, and thank you so much for making that possible. Um, I've got a special guest today, and I have to tell you, I tell you, I just admire this young man, and we're gonna get into it. So, Will McDaniel, welcome to Doing Business in Bentonville.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Before we jump into this important stuff, man, I gotta tell you, I love your mom and dad.
Thank you.
Your dad and I mean, like, we started cycling together, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago. And then your mom where I worked, it was great to see her, and she always had a great smiling face. And you guys, I know you know this, but you got some wonderful parents,
I
and
appreciate
tell
that.
them hello for me. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And I'll say that Andy Wilson is quite the legend in our households
Oh no.
and well thought of, well spoken of.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but no, I tell you, it's just really humbling. Uh, Here's what we're gonna do. Will works for a great company, Harps Food Stores, and think about this with me now, all of our viewers. Okay, here we are in Northwest Arkansas, in the middle of the Walmart ecosystem. Okay, in the middle of it, the world's largest retailer setting is their home office here. Harps Food Stores, family owned, began with a family, employee owned.
Correct? Yes, sir.
It's doing phenomenal in the middle of the Walmart ecosystem. Now, that says a lot, and one of the reasons why it's so phenomenal is because they have great people. People like you and hundreds of thousands of others in the Harps Food Company. I will tell you, congratulations on such a great job for the Harps Food Stores.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that. Means a lot to us.
Great. I remember way back, when Mr. Hart
Mhm.
back in the day, and then, I remember when they went employee owned.
Mhm.
When
Back
was
in
that?
2001, the family and management sold the shares to the employees 100%. And it's been I guess you'd say, rocket ship. It's not necessarily a roller coaster, more like a rocket ship. It's gone straight up from there. It's been a pleasure. Uh, the employees took over ownership at $27 a share, and it's just exploded today. And we'll get into it, of course, later about ESOP and what all that means. But uh, the benefit that's created, the wealth that it's created for associates across the Mid South, across the now 8 states that we operate in, has been pretty tremendous.
It is. How many stores now?
I checked this morning,
Yeah.
178 stores now.
That's awesome. Wow. And, if you're not in this area, you've got to check this company out online. If you ever come in Northwest Arkansas, even with the A state, I didn't realize you had gone. I know you've been adding stores. I so keep up with you. And I will tell you, okay, I'm sorry, all my Walmart friends, but I shop here, okay? Because I love to go to the store. Okay, here's why I like to go there. All right, number one is in stock. Number two, everyone speaks to you, and then number three is that it's employee owned, and when you're going in there, it makes you feel really good.
Yes, sir.
You're supporting those people that are talking to you, stocking those stores in the seafood, in the meat,
Absolutely.
all of that. You're supporting that, and I'll tell you, I'm a huge fan. And then I met Will. We're cyclists, and I met Will, and here's what I did. As I said, I knew his mom and dad, and then I met Will on a cycling. We were cycling one day on a group ride, and Will was leading, and I went, this young man he's quite impressive. And because I was watching him as he led this group, and then I went back and looked up on the ride alert. Who is this guy? And I seen his name. I went, I know that last name. And then I spoke with you, and we put it together that are
Sure.
your parents. So what a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, this region's growing, but you're quickly reminded of how small it is sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get straight into it and get into this, and Will's really agreed to, speak on behalf of family, on the company, and, a family-owned business or employee-owned business. And so, Will, let's just talk a minute. And we like I said, here at Harps is really operating in the epicenter of the world's largest retailers. And so here's my first question: is how has Harps through this really defined their competitive strategy? How do you guys been able to do that?
That's a great question. So there's plenty of ways to look at it, but one way, and Andy touched on it just a moment ago, is the freshness and quality is something that you can travel here over to Bixby, Oklahoma, or now all over to Tennessee and down to New Orleans. There's a consistency in the quality of the not only just meat and seafood in my world, but through all the perimeter departments. The center store, of course, we stock all the major things that you're looking for on your trip. So the perimeter of the store is really where we tend to shine and people know us. We've got great programs, whether it's the Martha Hart fried chicken or the Martha Hart rolls that everyone, at least around these parts, are
I recommend both
familiar
of those,
with.
by the way.
It's a staple for, especially the rolls are staple for Thanksgiving and Christmas
Yeah.
for most households. And then, onto we have great programs, for Harps Black Angus beef. We take a lot of pride in our choice beef program.
Mhm.
We have phenomenal relationships with our seafood purveyors, and we have chili flown in, or seafood from Chile flown in weekly, fresh salmon. So, um, yeah, it's really the fresh perimeter departments are a key driver to our success and differentiation.
So okay, let's go back for a moment. So you heard what he talked about. It was all about the great quality of the food, and that's why you go there. And that's why we go there because we want to spend our hard-earned money in a place that we get quality merchandise at a great price. By the way, at a great price. Your prices are not that much higher than other major retailers. Okay,
We
at
do our
all.
best.
And so but you get that. So that's the beginning of your experience there, and I would just add it's your people too. I know you will probably talk about that, but as I said at the beginning of the show, when you go in, the people they asked if they could help you. I was in the other day and they moved. I'm a big soup eater. They moved the soup aisle somewhere, and so I was in the original soup aisle, and I was looking, and an employee came up and said, "Hey, can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, where'd you move the soup?" They went, "Let me take you there." I said, "No, no, just tell me." No, they took me there. Now, that's phenomenal. That's service, that's quality. That also is, I would say, is a major part of your experience. So tell me this, when you begin your ESOP, the employee ownership and, program, um, how do you think that has really affected or influence, I guess is a better word, the mindset of the associates, the store associates. Talk about that. How that is.
So there's of course, a vesting period, but as soon as employees start to see, every year their share grow and grow. And not only are they allocated more stock every year, but the value of that stock continues to increase. There's a real sense of pride
Yeah.
in what the work they do every day, and it's really phenomenal. We hear stories every year of the retirements that people are experiencing because they chose to come to Harps every day and serve the communities that they were in. And the exciting thing is, it costs our long term and all of our associates absolutely nothing. It is a benefit. It's you think of it, it goes beyond just the poster in the break room that explains what the ESOP is. This is something that is a benefit to all of our associates. There's minimum requirements, but it's just you put in your time and the benefits flow
Mhm.
on and on. The yeah, I know Kim Eskew, our CEO, he gets an incredible amount of pride and enjoyment
Yeah.
when he visits with associates, whether they're in Oklahoma or in East Arkansas,
Mhm.
uh, what kind of retirement they're looking forward to at the end of the year because they've watched their ESOP grow.
Mhm. That's amazing. There's nothing like that. There's nothing, and that does set you apart. It changes from an employee to an owner, and that's huge, and I really commend you, the Harps Corporation and the company, and Coach Kim Eskew is a fine, fine leader. I've known him for a long time, and our families have been to Israel together and things like that, and he's a fine leader. He comes, he's just a great guy, and, like I said, I've known him for a long time. He does a great job. He's a great leader, and, he's done a really great job leading the organization for many years.
Thank you. And compounding on top of that, speaking on growth as a company and acquisitions and the ESOP, uh, whether it's one store that we buy or whether it's a dozen or 20 stores, whenever those new employees find out that, oh, I get to become an owner now, it really clicks with them, and you could see the light bulb go off, and they uh, instantly learn, okay, this is a different place to work. This is something that I get to be a part of that's, bigger than myself and is going to benefit myself and my family.
Mhm,
Um, and many of them have never, talking about ownership, the P&L is a great way to see your ownership.
mhm,
Many of them have never seen their own P&L. Usually it's the owner or maybe
mhm,
the operator of the company, but
mhm,
every department manager has their P&L, and
mhm,
they see they see the how their decisions and the company's decisions
mhm.
affect them. So it's a really exciting.
Years ago when Sam Walton was alive, we did what we called store row to store, and every department manager had a P&L. And I was a district manager back in those days, and I'd go in, I'd sit down with those department managers, and we'd go over their department. It created the ownership, and they also they were their profit sharing plan very heavily invested in Walmart stock, and so that it felt like owners at that point, like you're saying, you're describing. Well, you're describing is actually the way business should be operated. Because that successful business with employee owned, associate owned, part of the ownerships is success. And your model, and I think that will when as I've watched Harps for years, and that to me is the single most important thing that you have done. And I really appreciate Kim and the other leaders for continuing that inside your organization. And I'll tell you something funny. Tell you a funny story. I don't know how this happened, and I don't know if Kim did or someone in Harps, but way back, someone asked me to come to the Harps office, which is close to a store in Springdale, Arkansas, close to my store where I shop, and so all right, to speak on leadership. So I went into the home office there, and it was so like, I've never been to Hark's home office, and so I walked in, and after it was Kim or someone said, "You're the only Walmart person we've ever allowed in here." And I went, "Okay, I hope I'm not getting shot today." And I thought, "Okay, what am I gonna talk about?" But I told a few Sam Walton stories, and 'cause, there's so many after almost 30 years at Walmart, and, I told a few Walmart stories. We laughed a little bit, I told it made it funny, and I survived getting out of there alive. That was my cause, is get out of there alive, but it was so wonderful because everyone was so kind to me. And they knew I was the competitor sitting there, but yet they always still I think they were a little leery of me, but it was a great visit. And, in that meeting is when I really also seen, the uniqueness of your company. Just great people working hard for a great vision and mission. And anyway, so let's talk now about your stuff, okay? Let's talk about what I call between the aisles. I want to talk about, your strategies and your categories because you focus, and you mentioned earlier, and you did a really nice job. You focus on fresh and deli and bakery, your meat, your seafood. You focus on that, but that just doesn't happen. That takes a lot of work, especially now to get it in all the stores that you just mentioned. Talk about some of the strategies to make that happen.
Sure. We couldn't do it by ourselves. We have incredible partners, and many people, especially in the retail space, have probably heard of Associated Wholesale Grocers, AWG,
Mhm,
one of the, if not the largest, one of the largest cooperative wholesalers in the country.
mhm,
They have well over 9 divisions across the United States and well over 3,500 physical retail locations that they service. And so, without them, it's very difficult to stock the shelves, and they really do a great job of uh, putting strong programs in place, putting a strong emphasis in place on quality and freshness, and then onto our specifically to the meat and seafood, we have fantastic fresh meat and seafood programs on like Tyson, for example. We're a
mm,
very long-standing tenured partner with Tyson, and I think I looked the other day, and we like to joke it's a football throw away, but it's about 2 miles from our office to their office.
yeah,
So it takes no time to go meet with Tyson.
yeah,
Those are the kind of partnerships that really elevate the shelf and really elevate the perimeter of the store.
mhm,
That our customers understand that, hey, I can get smart chicken at any Harps store I walk into. I can get a quality Tyson product in any of these locations, and I know it's going to be reasonably priced and a
mhm,
great value.
mhm, mm. Wonderful. Cellcord is a full service agency exclusively for Walmart, helping brands maximize digital self penetration through omni-channel strategies that span both in store and online. From content and advertising to retail media and social proof, Cellcord gives brands everything they need to grow across the full Walmart ecosystem. Um, we have talked, about and what we're focused on during this at Bentonville, we talk a lot about omni-channel, and omni-channel has really changed retailing. And, from and if you're new to our podcast, omni-channel is when you order online, it's when you pick up at a store, it's when it's delivered to your front door, all of that, and when you shop in the store even uh, especially with the apps and AI, all of that tech integration. You have 2 questions. Number one, it seems to be that Harps has integrated all of that. So the question is, have you integrated it and what you've integrated into your shopping experience, and then talk about how it's working
Sure.
and all that.
So we have some projects that are in the works right now that we'll be pretty excited to announce in the coming weeks and months. The late summer, early fall, around AI and so on those things. So we have a long-standing partnership where it's been really tremendous to see the load go from this grocery manager or the department manager having to walk their department every day and scan their shelves and order cases to now they're throughout the week conducting cycle counts, and the ordering has become this way less of a burden for our employees where they can now divert that time to serving our customers, walking customers, through the aisles, taking care of the front end, working on displays, all those sort of things that the things you really want your employees working on, not so much walking through every aisle and every side of the aisle,
Right.
scanning tags and those sort of things.
Or free their time up to focus on the most important things. One of the things that in AI, and I've been and talking to other retailers and suppliers, one of the things that, what we hope in this whole omni-channel experience, if you will, everything that we do to really demystify this whole on-channel process is where AI will help us to take the load off of some of the mundane things we're doing so we can focus more on what you just said, spending time with the customer, getting out and seeing the stores if you're in the home office,
Right.
seeing the stores, talking to the customers more, those kind of things. And I hope that AI can help with that so our employees and all can get out and spend a lot more time with the customers, within the stores, and then I think we'll run better stores by doing that.
and that's a the ordering and, all of that is a trickle down, uh win for the customer. That on the customer facing side, I'm not sure if you've seen or some of your viewers seen, we have a phenomenal app. It's called the My Hometown Rewards app, and we run all kinds of coupons, whether it's a weekly coupon during an ad cycle, uh, buy one get one free coupons. It's really phenomenal to see the savings that customers are acquiring in their baskets when they shop, and the basket size from when a customer is using the app regularly to when it's just a normal customer transaction, the the growth in the basket is phenomenal, and we're able to run campaigns and different promotions through the app. Customers can locate items and locate the actual ad throughout the app. But like we do traditionally every year now, a win free port for a year where during this 1 week or 2 week ad cycle, the customer goes in, doesn't really cost them anything. They clip a couple coupons and then they're entered to win the value of free port for a year. So kind of going back to what are some things to let people who are newer to the area or
Mhm.
may not be familiar with harps or apps, one of those things that we try to differentiate, and that's a really a driver and a focus when it comes to technology for us.
Okay, what's the name of that app again?
The My Hometown Rewards.
Okay, I gotta do that. I didn't know I don't have that, but I will have that in a moment, I promise you.
I'm sure I'll see you in the next couple of weeks in the store going through the app.
I definitely forget all those kind of that's phenomenal, Will. Um, let's talk about this. You mentioned earlier about Harps and I mean Tyson just down the road from Harps, the home office. And again, we have JB Hunt Logistics is just up the road, and so we're so fortunate to live in this eco space of all this transportation and retail and support. um, Also here in Northwest Arkansas, there's hundreds of suppliers that have offices here that support the retail environment. So thinking of all these vendors that are here, suppliers that are here in Northwest Arkansas that have offices here, if you were and many of them watch our podcast, okay, and listen to our podcast, what would you tell these suppliers about Harps if and encourage them to come into your stores and check it out? Talk to the suppliers about
Sure.
it. What would you tell them?
I would say we're often a great vessel or vehicle to see more distribution outside of maybe the Walmart or the Kroger or Costco ecosystem.
Mhm.
Uh, Going back to AWG, we have 178 stores across the Mid South, and so at our size, we even though we do tremendous volume, and I think it was I didn't go back and see what was actually published. I won't be able to speak to more recent numbers, but it was fiscal year 23. We did 1.56 billion in revenue for the year, and it's gone up from there. Of course, we continue to grow and see sales increase, but uh, even at our size and our volume, we're able to quickly uh, roll out programs, quickly roll out new lines. We have a great relationship with the buyers and the category managers at the wholesaler, and we can quickly put together programs and test things out. So we're a great way to get your foot into the door when it comes to AWG. You can get into the 3 or 4 warehouses that we pull from. You really that you can start aggregating volume across all of Associated Wholesale Grocers.
Right. Well, I think that's well said. Um, okay, now if you we painted a picture here of a great company, a company that was privately owned, now is employee owned. Will's talked about the growth of this company, and that's phenomenal growth. Congratulations on that growth.
Thank you.
And we've talked about the people that run this place, their owners. They work like owners, and then I will tell you, the stores that are located in Northwest Arkansas, I'll tell you they're top notch. They're clean, they're in stock, they're well led, and great people that work inside those buildings. Okay, so as we were to wrap up here, as we wrap up here a few minutes, Will, What else would you like to talk about your company, and what else would you like to tell everyone about Harps?
Sure. Let's say because we are employee owners, one of our main, uh, I guess you'd say, phrases or kind of keywords that we share from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top is empower to satisfy. And so, like you mentioned, walking a customer to an item, it really doesn't stop at the shelf. But because we are a full service store, we can provide services that you may not expect. You could walk up to the meat counter and let them know, hey, can you uh, cut me I'm really specific about the thickness of the steaks. Cut me 6 ribeyes at this thickness. Can you order me we're having a big tailgate. Can you order me a whole hog? It's really we go beyond just what's on the shelf. We can provide, services that you may not expect, but also the services we do advertise, like our, bakery deli, the cake decorators. We have nationally recognized cake decorators in our bakeries that do phenomenal work, and they just some of the wedding cakes are phenomenal and beautiful that they produce. But yeah, one thing that we're extremely fortunate with is you mentioned some of our leadership and the leadership that you met with those years ago at our office, and it's not changed that much. We're fortunate as we've had real continuity over time. We've been around for 96 years now. We've really not had that many CEOs or much leadership change and turnover. I believe Kim started in 1977, and I mean, you can tell that the passion and how he communicates, stories that he shares, how he inspires people, that continuity and having a having stability in leadership is really important. And we've now had some recent retirements, like Jim Ants, who I'm sure you've met. He was our CFO. Mike Thoreau. We had some recent retirements at the senior level, but it's really incredible how they position the Harps family, our executives and upper management, how they position the ESOP and how they position us as employee owners to succeed. I don't think anybody, I know they expected the ESOP to grow, but to grow from where it was at $27 a share to today, I think it's still pretty exciting and motivating. And I don't know if you know, we go back to a one store operation on Inlet Avenue in 1930 with $500 that was saved up from working in the orange fields out in California. To think of where we came from then to today is it's really exciting. There's not a day that we don't talk about what the future holds and how excited we are. Uh, J Max, our president of the company, he sees all the growth potential because the deals come across his desk. We have, as the grocery industry evolves and changes, there's quite a few families who are now in the second or third generation, and the generation behind them don't necessarily want to stay in the business. As you know, the margins in the grocery business are pretty thin, and you really need scale to succeed. You need strong partnerships. So as we continue to move on in time, we'll have more store growth. Some of it will be organic, new from the ground up, but quite a bit of it, if not all of it, will be acquisitions as
Mm.
families look for someone that they can uh, send their employees and their companies to, and back to where the employees that are onboarded by a group, the excitement and the ownership, it's really a neat thing to see and be part of.
Mm. Wow, that's well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I can't tell you what an honor and privilege it's been to have you on the show. And again, as I said, I think the world of your parents, and they've done really well here. And so, yeah, you have a great future, I know, inside this organization. I have a feeling you will be there a long time, and I hope you are. Thank you, and thank all the thousands of the Harps owners around these 8 states. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for this team in Springdale, the home office that's leading so well. And your culture sounds wonderful. Your future, I know, is bright. And I wanna wish Harps and, all the team nothing but success in the future.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that
It's
very
been
much.
it's been wonderful having you. Um, I want you to come back.
Absolutely.
I would love to have you back. I would love you to keep the story alive. And it's I've been wanting I've been wanting to talk hearts for a long time and for over a year, and I just sort of kept watching and waiting. And again, thank you for reaching out to me. I don't think it was a convenience that I just met you on a bike ride one day and we connected. I don't think that at all. I think it was that you need to sit in that chair, and I appreciate you sitting in that chair and
Thank you,
talking.
Andy.
It's been such a wonderful experience for me,
Thank
and it just creates such happiness for me to know that there's a company that's taking such good care of their people. It's wonderful, Will.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it very
Congratulations.
much.
To all of our viewers, thank you. What a great story. Check out Harps. Check them out. Go to their website. If you don't have one of their apps and you live here or live by the store, get one of those apps. I am okay. Go and do that. Will, my friend,
Thank you, Andy.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and nothing but great luck and my best to you.
Thank you. You as
Okay.
well.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.